Welcome to Overwatch, and welcome to something a little bit different now. Rather than comment on the further stupidity of Kotaku, and, like everyone else did, fair play to them, well done to them as well for addressing this. So Kotaku did, for those of you who don't know, a really stupid list, as they all want to do, and they tried to rank heroes. Apparently I think Soldier 76 was deemed the worst because he doesn't have enough memes. Just, what? Okay, fine. Kotaku being stupid, but rather than be unhelpful and just point out all the glaring flaws and just trying to rank heroes. I mean, like, people talk about counters and stuff all the time, and I think that counter is a very misleading term. I like to use terms like strong against this or non-optimal solution against that rather than just counter, because that implies some very binary state of being that isn't just quite there. But rather than do a list or just say, hey, Kotaku is stupid, because we know Kotaku is stupid, I want to be helpful. I mean, this channel is a learning channel. It's all about sort of helping ideas foster, helping people think about things and consider things. So rather than, go and look for all the negative here, why not go for the positive angle instead? So what I did was I channeled my inner WoW Krendor. Now, I'm a big fan of WoW Krendor. I love his work. And one of the things that he does, if you aren't aware, is that he makes pointless top 10 lists. Now, I'm not going to do that. There's not enough hours in the day for me to go find pointless top 10 lists while trying to manage a bunch of other things right now. So instead, I just decided to put a few ideas out there. And for you content creators who might want to, copy Kotaku's model and find some lists that actually have merit instead of the pointless one they made, well, here's a few lists that might have some, some actual merit to them and could actually be discussed in an interesting way. So, for example, you could have like a list of the most British things on King's Row. So you could have, black cabs, although I have to note that this cab doesn't have enough space in it for like 4 people, which most black cabs do. The post box is very British. The fact that the tube is on strike is very British. The signs, the litter is very British. So, lots and lots of good things there to make a list from, and then you could try and rate them and figure out which one's the most British. You could also say look at posters around the map, so pieces of art around the map, so the big billboards on Numbani, you could try and rate them. So for example, I'm a big fan of this one with the robot like drinking whiskey. I think that's a really cool one. I think that's an awesome looking one. I also like this one with the big robot on it. That's also really nice. I also actually like this ticker display as well, because it gives you some information on the lore and things like that. So that's a really cool thing that you could try and build a list of. Of course, we're not just looking at Numbani here as well. We can also look at like the really cool Russian posters on Volskaya, because they have a lot of that Soviet era really cool looking propaganda posters. It's sort of meant to be a bit intense and a bit scary, but you also have these really optimistic posters with like Zarya on it, on the wall, and she looks really grand. We have this woman here on the statue, and you can talk about statues as well. So you got the statue on Volskaya, that's really cool. You got the statue on King's Row. You got the statue here in Humour. Not a lot of people, I think, know about this statue. And it's a really, really nice one. You could just, talk about signs, by the way. You can also look at this one on Humour. It's tucked away in an alleyway, and it's not a very good sign, is it? It doesn't tell you anything. I think it's a music shop, but it's all in Japanese. I can't read Japanese. I think I have to sort of guess that that's a music shop. Who's that helping? Well, the Japanese people who live there, of course. But still, this can go into your list, and you can actually have an argument and a debate about it, and it'll be really cool. You could also talk about, the Skyboxes, because there's tons and tons of detail in those. So, you could look at, like, Humour, and you can see the trains moving around, or you could look at Volskaya, and you can see the big robots, and they're moving around and stomping about in this big city. You could look at London, it's like the Houses of Parliament and Big Ben and a sci-fi theme are there. It's really, really cool. And by the way, if you're wondering why there's only, like, 4 maps being shown, it's because I didn't want to spend more time than necessary on this. But wait, I forgot Hollywood as well. Like, I took a couple of pictures of Hollywood, and you got some really cool props in Hollywood. So you can talk about like the props as well, like the car that shouts at you with the director inside it, and he's telling you, you got to get there in time, or the trailer with Tyrael on it. And you could do like Easter eggs. So for example, did you know that the stars, for example, have the names of the 3 dwarves on it? Sorry, not dwarves, the Vikings, Lost Vikings. Dear me, what a mistake to make. Well, the fact that it's called Goldshire Pictures, and you can do a fun list on that, and you can actually talk about, this Easter egg's kind of cool because it's really clever and it's tucked away and it's a little bit hidden, that one will make you smile, but this one's really obvious, and so that one's not as good as this one. Maybe you could do a list like that, and you can actually break it down and have an actual interesting discussion, rather than trying to list heroes, which is just fucking pointless. I mean, really, there's only one way of listing heroes to me. There's only one way of doing it. And that's a waifu and husbando tier list, right? And for me, that's Widowmaker number 1, everyone else number 0. Like, that's it. That's it for me. Actually, no, that's not fair. It's Widowmaker number 1, everyone else number 2, and then Maid number 9,999. There you go. There's a full list. There's a proper list. There's a rational debate list for you right there. And by the way, Hanzo is number 1 husbando as well, so there you go. But yeah, come on. Guys. Ugh. Toodles.